Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm here to talk the Real Housewives of Atlanta today, guys. We're talking Porsha Williams and her possible return back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you guys remember, we last saw Miss Porsha Williams while she was filming a spinoff series called Porsha Family Matters. However, it was not signed for another season, and if you watched Porsha Family Matters, please comment below and let me know what your thoughts were on her spinoff. Before I get started, I would like to say I have a disclaimer at the beginning of this video because everything in this video is, of course, alleged. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn those notifications on. I am trying to grow my channel. Thank you. Okay, Miss Porsha Williams. Now, this is wild, okay, because there was so much going on between the housewives when this happened, right? Because, so Porsha and Dennis break up, and Porsha gets engaged to Simon, right? Now, Simon was married and was still married, going through a divorce when he hooked up with Porsha. And he was married to another housewife who was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta the season before. She was a newbie, right? So tons of allegations that, you know, he was cheating on her. Blase, blase. She ends up having a baby with another man. She does an interview on Up and Adam. She's a very beautiful woman, but she didn't really say a lot. And that's possibly because there was infidelity on her part. So she didn't give us a lot of details on Simon's infidelity. She just really talks about how they really didn't have a lot in common and how much he liked to travel and she liked to be home with the children, and just the type of lifestyle was very different, what it was like when they were dating, their breakups, get back together, etc. What has the public so, I think, fascinated is I think most people don't believe that Simon has the money that he claims to have. If you're on Instagram, you can follow his account. He will daily post a post that looks to be uplifting, like it's supposed to be an inspirational, positive quote, or, you know, how he's feeling. But there's always something like flashy in the video. Like he'll be flashing his cars or the Rolls Royce or the Rolex or whatever the case, or his house in the Caribbean, whatever the case is. It's like he's trying, it seems like the intent is for people to think that it's him just being a positive thinker and, you know, this kind of man with all this integrity and good qualities. But really, it's just him showing off. And we keep hearing, guys, and don't get upset with me, I'm just saying what we keep hearing is that Simon loves the cameras, and that's why his first wife, Fallon, actually did the Real Housewives of Atlanta in the first place, was because she was encouraged by Simon and that he liked the publicity. He liked her being on camera. He liked being on camera. So when Porsha Williams went ahead and slid in his DMs one cold, lonely night when Dennis was out hooking up with bartenders, he was more than ready to start mingling, if you will. That is exactly how I have had it relayed to me, basically. And we all know that Porsha DM'd him because she said so in the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, what the juicy part is, guys, is that they did not hold back, right? They were planning 2 weddings, okay? And that means that they already sent out invitations to a wedding that was supposed to happen in September. Now, they have canceled that wedding, and they told all the people that they mailed the invitations to that they would be mailing them new invitations, and the date allegedly is now in the end of November, like a couple of days after or before Thanksgiving. So allegedly, this of course is making all of the bloggers, all of us thinking that she must be making a return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta because they want to film the wedding process. They want to film the wedding drama, the bridesmaids, and all the chaos that is going to be surrounding Porsha between her family and Simon's family. So therefore, they have moved one of the weddings because they're allegedly having 2 weddings. Now, both of the weddings are going to be in Atlanta, and the one is, we're assuming, is going to be filmed on Bravo. Now, the other wedding allegedly was going to take place in Nigeria because that's where Simon was from. Now, this was kind of messed up because of the fact that Shamia, who is Porsha's very good friend, we see her on her Instagram all the time. She's also married to a Nigerian, and she allegedly was like the matchmaker that helped Simon and Porsha really get together, even though Porsha said she slid in his DM. Whatever the case may be, she had asked Porsha to be a bridesmaid in her wedding a couple of seasons back when she got married, and she was getting married in Nigeria. And Porsha like gave her every reason to Tuesday why she couldn't go and be in her wedding. And finally, she settled on the excuse that she couldn't fly that long and she had some kind of rare disease, something that was rare and something that affected her when she was flying. And so therefore, she would not be able to fly to Nigeria to stand up and be in her friend's wedding. Like, this is the kind of friend that Porsha is. I don't like to give my opinion too much during videos, but I think sometimes we have to make sure like history repeats itself kind of. And I always tell you guys, if we're like into a series and we're like watching the franchise intensively, go back and watch some of the earlier seasons, like even a couple of episodes. And I'm telling you guys, it will really change your perspective, because we have all of our lives going on. Like, we can't remember everything, right? So it's very helpful to go back and watch seasons and watch people when they were like first new on the show, before they had a lot of money, before they had an image, before they were, making millions. It's interesting to me, at least. And I think a lot of people who are Bravo fans are interested in that as well, because we kind of study people's movements, right? So this is the kind of moves we're seeing Porsha make. And it says to me, like, you're not a very great friend. Like, I'm not being hard on her. She could have other great qualities. But to me, that doesn't seem like someone who's a very good friend. I've never seen her be a very good friend to anyone on the show, like steadily. But it's possible. I mean, she's been on the show for a long time, so I feel like we would have been introduced to a best friend by now if there like was one that has stuck by her for all these years. Don't forget that Porsha had a cousin that went on Sherelle's World and actually talked about how Porsha and her mom, Miss Diana, are all about the dollar bills. They're about the Benjamins, and just a lot of tea about Porsha just very like she was too good to hang out with the cousin because she was in Atlanta and she's making money and, she's found stardom. But she really concentrated a lot on the fact that Miss Diane and Miss Porsha were very much after the dollar bill when they talked about Porsha marrying, and that Miss Diane didn't care that Porsha wanted to marry for money, because she wanted her to marry for money too, because she knew that she would be getting the benefits. Now in saying that, I'm wondering maybe if Porsha and Miss Diana are very close, as in more friends than a mother-daughter dynamic, possibly. Miss Diana is so beautiful. I think she's gorgeous. She gets along with her ex-husband's wife, and her ex-husband went on to marry and have a daughter who we see on the show as Porsha's sister. And we see her pretty often, I think, when we're filming with Porsha, and she seems like a very sweet girl. She has a child, and she's really trying to do some soul searching and healing, and she's into like yoga and meditation and spiritual things, and she's trying to give Porsha just a piece of that, right? And Porsha, during Porsha Family Matters, was just not really having it. She wasn't making it to meditation. Like, no one was going to meditate. They weren't doing any sort of like group activities that were therapeutic, team building, nothing along those lines. Like, they went there basically making the sister, Porsha's sister, like the mediator with all of them. And then a couple of days in, when they realized that this is not working, they flew someone else in. And of course, it wasn't going to work because they had already been there several days and so much had transpired, right? And then I think that's like the night that Porsha allegedly gets physical with Dennis's mom. So this has benefited Dennis as well. He owns bars and businesses in Atlanta, and, him being on the show, I'm sure the publicity is like amazing. However, he was not happy with the edit on Bravo, even though I think that he got a good edit, as in fans and viewers were more supportive of Dennis than I think they've ever been the entire time that we've seen him on the show, right? I think because we get to see him be a dad, and we kind of see their conversations, and we can see how Porsha relays things and what their parenting, their co-parenting looks like. And I think viewers could relate to him, and they appreciated some of the things that he said as like in a whole decision making. It kind of came out seeming like Dennis was more mature than Simon and Porsha together. That's very much what it seemed like to me. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys want to see Porsha back on the wedding, or back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Do you believe that Simon is a made man with millions and millions, guys? I just want to know what you think. Do you want to see her on the Real Housewives of Atlanta getting married to Simon? Please leave your comments. I'm going to be posting up some new content. I know I've been super busy this week and I apologize, but I am working on a special event. I'm so excited. I'm going to see a couple of people from a franchise, and so excited. I can't wait to share it with you guys. I'm going to, of course, share everything along the way. It's going to be the night before BravoCon, and just really, really excited, and going to have some great content for you guys, especially for anyone that's not going to be able to make it to BravoCon. I won't be there the whole time, but I'll be able to give you a piece of it, a really, really close, good piece of some content. So make sure you subscribe. Have a great day.